Welcome to the Life Self-Mastery Podcast, where we bring in entrepreneurs who have created online businesses and improved their lifestyles. Here's your host, Rohit Malhotra.
Hi everyone, I'm Rohit from lifestylemastery.com, and today I'm thrilled to have Greg Hickman, who runs System.ly, which is about creating systems for online entrepreneurs. Greg used to run mobile marketing companies, Mobile Mixed, and Mobile Marketing Engine. Greg focuses on building sales funnels and leveraging marketing automation tools. Welcome to the show, Greg.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so please share your journey. You started off with being in mobile marketing, and then you've focused on building sales funnels. So how did that journey go about?
Yeah, so I came from corporate big agency in the mobile space, for a large retail company, and I started a company on the side, started a blog podcast that drove into consulting, and was consulting with small independent retail companies on mobile marketing. But really, it was pretty difficult to scale that. I was kind of early in the mobile space, so a lot of the ideal clients that I wanted to work with weren't ready to invest in mobile. So I kind of hit a wall where I then basically took a pivot, and the other thing that I was really passionate about, because I was using it myself, was Infusionsoft, and I was building out automation for ourselves. And I said, well, hey, maybe I can actually work with another type of client that I would enjoy working with more. And so I went out and started selling, Infusionsoft related funnel building, things like that. And that kind of launched what is now Systemly. And now we basically help other client-based businesses, service providers, systematize both their acquisition and their fulfillment.
Got it. You spent a decade on mobile marketing. So how did you make the decision to pivot to something different since, you spent such a long time in mobile marketing?
So why did I leave?
Yes.
Oh man, well, because I cared more about having like a sustainable business versus just being the mobile guy, right?
Got it. So in Systemly, do you focus on promoting information type products, where who's your ideal audience when you look at creating systems for information product owners, or is it about helping out influencers or authors?
Most of the people we work with are like service providers. So like consultants, agencies, you can put experts in that category, but most of our clients, actually all of our clients, are selling some sort of like consulting, coaching, or a service versus just like a course. So yeah, we've worked with a lot of people that sell courses. I think anybody can leverage systems, both front end marketing systems as well as back end. But for us, our ideal client is like an actual service provider that has their hands kind of involved in the delivery of the result.
Got it. And, for the sake of the listeners, how do you go about building a sales funnel? Is it about creating an email course where, people would come into that into a funnel and convert into buyers? So if you can, talk about how would a consultant or an agency get to go about creating a sales funnel?
Yeah. So I think what most people would say is like they would lead you down kind of the wrong path. I think that it really depends on who we're talking about, right? A sales funnel is a pathway from complete stranger to paying client, right? So depending upon what you do, you need to do a couple things. One, you need to kind of create the path. What does someone need to know about you and the problem and the solution that you can go out there, connect with someone who has this problem or pain, and you're able to say, hey, this is how we can help. Let me show you, and then demonstrate your authority in that process. That could be a mini course. That could be a PDF. That could be a webinar. It could be a lot of different, it could be a sales strategy session. A lot of the variables are price point, expertise, what are you actually selling and who are you selling to? But I think the first thing in order to have any sort of successful sales funnel is really hone in on what is the problem that your product or service solves. And then what are the people out in the marketplace saying or asking for that will allow you to start that conversation so that you can start closing the gap. I think a mistake that many people make is they think about how do I capture the lead first, and then they try to transition that into a conversation about their product or service, and the entry point doesn't align with the offer, right? So you really need to reverse engineer. What is it that you do? What problem do you solve for your clients? And then what is something that you can use to get their attention, right? That a lot of that comes down to messaging. So I think where people go wrong is they start on the front end when they really need to start on the back end, if that makes sense.
That's very interesting because, most of people do, try to capture a lead and then they try to sell their service or product. So when you talk about the right sort of messaging which needs to go across, is there, you would have worked with, people who run 6-figure, 7-figure businesses. Is there any right sort of messaging which goes across for services or products like do webinars or PDFs work for the messaging platform, and do you focus first on what is the problem that you're trying to solve and then go about the messaging part?
I start with the problem that you solve, and then go about the messaging, because in order to get someone's attention, you're going to need to talk about the problem that you solve. So if you're talking about anything else that doesn't lead to you having a conversation about that problem, then you're basically just attracting a bunch of leads that will likely never become prospects. So if you want to actually build a list and fill your pipeline with ideal prospects, then you have to start with the problem that you solve, because that's what people care about.
Got it. And you talked about using Infusionsoft and leveraging market automation tools. So how do you go about helping other entrepreneurs who are using Infusionsoft? How
do we help our clients? Yes. Is what you're asking?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we basically move our clients through a process that we've created that helps them use Infusionsoft or many other tools. We don't just focus on Infusionsoft, but really build out 3 things. 1, refine their offer. 2, build out their sales system. And 3, build out their new client onboarding. So we work with our clients to do those 3 things, and really those 3 things only before we can do anything else, right? Those are the foundations to selling and building a business. You need a way to attract leads, you need a way to convert them, and you need a way to deliver the results for those that just gave you money. So we work on those 3 things first, and whether you're using Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign, it doesn't matter. We help you use those systems more effectively to do those things in your business as it relates to your clients.
Got it. And how should one go about defining their audience? How would you tell an agency or a consultant to define their niche so that they know exactly whom they're reaching out to?
So how do you define your niche?
Yes.
Yeah. Part of it's choice, right? A lot of service providers, they just say yes to everybody because it's money, right? And I think that's how a lot of people get started, which is great. That's how I got started. But very quickly that can become the limiting factor on your growth, right? So you cannot, as a service provider, really any sort of, whether you're selling a product or a service, say that you do everything for everybody. Like that makes your messaging extremely difficult. So What I like to work on with clients is like looking at past experiences. What are clients that they were able to get massive results for? What are clients that they enjoyed working with? What are clients that they can actually help? And what are clients that will actually be able to pay them, right? Because a lot of people go after clients that have no money, and that's obviously not going to be something that can be scaled, right? You want to make sure that the people that you're going after, your ideal client, you can get them the result that you promise, you enjoy doing it, and that they have money to pay you. And then we look at all of those and we look for commonalities. Like, are they all in the same niche? Do they all have the same problem? And from there, you start to narrow down. So it kind of looks different for a lot of people. Sometimes they end up niche specific. Sometimes they end up problem specific. Sometimes there's a layer of geographic location. For us, we can work with anybody that deals with one-on-one clients, right? At least in an online, that it incorporates an online environment, right? Like, we don't work with, like a doctor's office. They deal with clients one-on-one. So like they're very location specific, and they, obviously local. So like, that's not a perfect client for us, but like a coach, a consultant, an agency that maybe has clients all over the world or all across the country, we can help all of those people, right? It doesn't matter if they're a marketing agency or a health and wellness, coach or something like that. Like, they all still have the same problem. Does that make sense?
Yes. So if somebody has defined their audience. Do you also help them define their product on, what is the right sort of product they should launch with?
For us, I can't make you an expert, right? Right. So like, for us, our clients, like, they've already been working with clients. They just can't take on any more, right? So they're already good at something. They've already generated revenue. For at least, and this is for us. I mean, there's obviously other people out there that can help you come up with what your product should be. If you've been helping clients in any way, shape, or form, and you have revenue, maybe you've just been doing too wide of a variety of services, I can help you narrow down for sure. But it sounded like what you're asking is like, can I help them create their offer? And for me, that's not beneficial. I kind of need them to have a skill that's marketable, that they've already validated through maybe having a couple one-on-one clients, like a freelancer as an example. They can only work with 5 clients, so they can only generate a certain amount of money, and they want to now be able to work with 10 or 20 clients. Like, I can help someone like that systematize, streamline, simplify their business, but I can't make that freelancer good at web design. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So for us, specifically in our business, like, we excel with people that have already validated and demonstrated that they know what they're doing. I don't necessarily need them to be an expert, although that's very beneficial. But if like they're just starting their own business and they've never done any sort of client work before, that's like a little bit too early for me to help.
Fair enough. So I also want to know, what are some of your favorite marketing tools, which would help listeners also to use those marketing tools and create those systems for their businesses.
Totally. We keep it really simple. You need a marketing automation tool. So for us, that's Infusionsoft. For many of our clients, it's ActiveCampaign. We need a way to capture leads. So we need some sort of landing page tool. We use ClickFunnels, but you could use Lead Pages, Unbounce. There's plenty of alternatives. We use Pipedrive, which is something that we love to like visually manage our pipeline across our sales team. We use a calendar tool like Schedule Once so that people can get time on our calendar. And lastly, we use webinars a lot. So we have a tool that, allows us to use webinars, and we prefer Easy Webinar right now. So, I mean, like outside of that, that's pretty much all we need to really run our entire business from a marketing and delivery perspective. Our team is on Slack. Obviously, we have email and things like that, but very minimal. I think, people get hung up on the tools, but you really only need like a handful of tools to really start making good money.
Awesome. Also, I want to know what about your course, which is called Funnels@Scale. Now it's called Foundation. So could you talk a little bit about Foundations and who's it for?
Yeah. So if you're working with clients and you're stuck doing one-on-one, dealing with scope creep, and you're capped on how much money you can make because of how customized your service is, then we can help you with that. So it was originally called Funnels@Scale. Now it's called Foundations. And really what we do is we help you implement the foundational elements of your sales and acquisition process, as well as your fulfillment process, to work with more clients in a given month than you had previously. So, if you were working with 5 clients, we want to make you able to go to working with 8 to 10 clients a month. If you're stuck doing one-to-one and you want to go one-to-many, we can help you restructure your delivery of your product or service so that you can work with more clients in any given month. So if that sounds like you, then that's definitely something we can help you with.
Got it. And that is something, is available throughout the year, or do you launch your course during a specific time period only?
It's something that, whenever a client wants to get started, we can have them join. It's a rolling enrollment.
Got it. So let's quickly do the top 3. What's your favorite business book?
My favorite business book? That's a tough one. I'm going to go with Work the System by Sam Carpenter.
Got it. And, if you could go back in time when you started your business, what is the one thing you would have focused on?
Sales. Just all I would be doing is sell. Right. I think too many people, when they get started, they want to have the perfect solution, and it's never going to be perfect, especially in the early stages. So start selling what you have and improving it along the way.
Got it. And what's your favorite online tool, for example, Gmail or Slack?
What's my favorite tool?
Yes. What's your favorite tool?
Right now, I'll have to say Pipedrive. It's really helped our sales team kind of visually manage our sales pipeline and sales process.
Got it. And what is the best way people can reach out to you and use Systemly?
Say that again.
What is the best way people can reach out to you?
Oh, yeah. So, my email is greg@system.ly. So just shoot me an email, mention the podcast, and, we'd be happy to chat. We have a free Facebook group that I think is really great around systemizing your business. So you could search on Facebook for the Systemized Business Launchpad, and we share free training and stuff in there all the time. So those would be great places to connect.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on to the show, Greg. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Life Self-Mastery Podcast, where we teach you how to start and grow your online business. For more information, visit Rohit's blog at www.lifeselfmastery.com.